The sun was shining brightly one August morning in Möckernkiez, a minimalist housing complex beside the leafy Gleisdreieck Park in central Berlin. Inaugurated in 2018, the innovative cooperative-run estate is a model of green livings. More than 300 residents across 409 apartments in the car-free district receive heat and electricity via clean energy, such as biogas and rooftop solar. And 2 years ago, the residents received a novel boost to their green energy supply when solar panels were installed on their balconies. Today the panels are dotted all across building facades, hanging beside plants and racks of drying clothes. It was the wish of several residents, says Bernhard Drechsel, technical director at Möckernkiez. They came together and proposed this. They wanted to make an extra individual effort. In doing so, the residents joined the ranks of what are today more than 1 million people across Germany who have installed Balkonkraftwerk, balcony solar, an increasingly popular renewable energy technology that is democratizing access to solar across Europe's largest economy. While each unit currently only produces a modest amount of energy, the cumulative impact of their large-scale adoption is contributing to Germany's target of sourcing 80% of its electricity from renewable sources by 2030. Balcony solar panels at Möckernkiez help the housing estate generate more of its own energy, alongside rooftop solar and biogas. Credit to Peter Yiels. Balcony solar, also known as plug-in solar, since it can be connected directly to a wall outlet, is accessible to practically anyone that has minimal outdoor space with decent sunlight, including those who may not even have a balcony. Installation, which requires little more than plugging in the appliance, is easily done without an electrician. And thanks to falling production costs and government subsidies for balcony solar units, which can be bought online or installed for just a few €100, it's easier than ever for individuals to produce their own green energy. The result is that these panels are opening the solar market to huge numbers of German citizens, including renters previously excluded from access to domestic solar generation due to red tape for rooftop panels, which often requires users to own their residence and to obtain permission from a local utility. Plug-in solar devices help reduce household energy costs and create greater energy independence for citizens regardless of subsidies or large investments, says Carsten Koenig, managing director of the German Solar Association (BSW), which represents more than 1,000 solar companies across the country. They also increase acceptance of climate protection measures and the urgently needed global energy transition. Balcony solar emerged in Germany around the 2000s, but didn't catch on until a few years ago, according to Koenig, when policy changes brought plug-in solar devices out of their niche and turned them into a consumer product. In 2019, for example, the government passed its technical regulations for plug-in solar devices, allowing them to use standard electrical plugs and feed into the grid via their inbuilt inverters. That made a big difference in Germany, says Berit Emmerle, managing director of the Berlin-Brandenburg section of the German Solar Energy Society, the country's oldest consumer protection association for renewables. Before, obtaining a permit required a lot of paperwork. Now it's a lot easier to obtain permission for than rooftop solar. Balcony solar has exploded in popularity since then, weighed down by negative news. Our smart, bright, weekly newsletter is the uplift you've been looking for. Experts like Anila say that the pandemic lockdown also helped fuel the surge in popularity as people spent more time at home, allowing them to carry out household upgrades. More recently, escalating energy prices in Europe linked to Russia's invasion of Ukraine made balcony solar even more economically attractive, he adds. Last year, further policies were passed, with Germany streamlining its regulatory framework for balcony solar. The registration process was simplified considerably, recognizing that plug-in solar devices are essentially power-generating household appliances, says Emmerle. Last fall, it also became mandatory for landlords and homeowners to approve the use of plug-in solar devices for tenants, whereas in the past it was up to their discretion if they were asked. As a result, the take-up has been light speed. As of late June, 1,924 balcony solar systems were registered with the German Federal Network Agency, including more than 219 added in the first half of 2023 alone. Given many haven't been officially registered, Emmerle says that the real figure is likely to be 2 or 3 times higher. Ramona Timmons, who lives in Berlin's Prenzlauer Berg neighborhood, bought a 2-meter-wide balcony solar unit this summer. I'd been thinking about it for a few years, said Timmons, an office manager who lives with her partner. The more energy we can produce without coal, the better for the planet. The more energy we can produce without coal, the better for the planet, says Ramona Timmons. Photo courtesy of Ramona Timmons. Rock bottom prices have sweetened the deal. Timmons bought a 800W unit for just $80 after receiving a 200 subsidy from Berlin city authorities. It's basically no cost, she adds. The installation was so easy. The practical advantages of plug-in solar devices, which quickly pay for themselves, are convincing more and more people. A YouGov survey commissioned by BSW at the end of 2024 found that around 8% of the 2,040 respondents said they planned to purchase a plug-in solar device within the next 12 months. A further 9% said they could imagine purchasing a plug-in solar device at some point in the future. Kayanik of BSW says there is a very large potential for uptake of balcony solar across the 30 million residential units in Germany's two-family or multifamily houses. The solar boom on Germany's balconies is likely to continue, he says. Yet not everyone is convinced. Dieter Wettig, who has a ground floor apartment in Möckernkiez, says that even if he did have a balcony, he would not install a plug-in unit due to the emissions made.